Hi everyone, welcome back to Crochet Rocks. Tracy here, and this is Sunday for me. I was kind of a lazy Sunday, but it's not in many ways. That's Gary. I think he's mashing potato. That's not DIY. It's DIY potato. So I didn't sleep very well last night. In fact, I didn't sleep at all. I was up all night long. I finally got a couple of hours after 6 o'clock this morning when Formula One finished. Not that I stayed up purposely to watch Formula One, I just happened to watch it because I was wide awake and couldn't sleep. So, yeah. So I would just want to say that I have 3 people who are very special to my channel, who are either ill or in hospital at the moment. So, you know, I just want to say a big shout out and love to you 3, and hope you're all getting better, and, you know, much love and all that. So, yesterday we went to Charlotte's house for dinner because, well, normally if Gary ever has Charlotte over, he will cook. And I just said, a little while ago when he was saying about it, I said, well, why don't we go there for a change? Because otherwise we never go out. I mean, we do go out, don't get me wrong, but, you know, mostly we don't go anywhere of any note. We don't even go to the cinema anymore, you know. I haven't done that for such a long time. And we keep saying we're going to cancel the cinema cards because we never seem to go anymore. But whenever I've asked Gary recently if he wanted to go, he's always said no, and it's been cold and he's been doing DIY, and there's always been like a no reason for it anyway. Plus, if we go, we have to pay a fortune to park. So what's the point in having the cinema cards for there? Because you pay for the cards and you've got to pay a fortune for parking, and you've got to pay for your drinks and stuff while you're there. Where we used to go before, we used to have to drive there, but it's free parking when we were there. So it's kind of swings and roundabouts anyway, but and it's closer, but you know, there's still kind of drawbacks. So we haven't been. So yeah, we haven't even been doing that lately. So we went anyway, and around Christmas time I started teaching Sophia to crochet, and I haven't really shown her very much. And I said to her, the last thing I said about it was, you go away and practice those things, I'll show you something else. And I thought, I bet she's forgotten it. So the other day, you know, I made the little bag. Well, first of all, I made a blue heart. Do you remember the blue hearts? Hang on. Hang on, I have more tea. Hold on. Thank you.
You only made one.
I know. Say hello, Gary.
Hello.
I told you I wanted the black cup. Anyway, I now have 2 cups of tea. Result. That was wet. I forgot what I was saying. Oh, yeah. So I thought she'd have forgotten it, but I gave her, when Gary saw him last, I gave her that little blue padded heart that I made. And then she put marbles in it. I thought it's now become like a little heart-shaped marble bag. And so when I made that bag, I thought, it's girly, she'll like that. So I was going to line it so she could put marbles in it, but she said she wanted it as it was. So she's putting her crochet in it. I know it's only small, but she's been practicing. And because I gave her the heart the other day, she was sitting in the car and Charlotte took a picture of her doing it with her crochet hook and with the blue yarn that I'd given her for Christmas. So I thought, I wonder how much she remembered. And apparently she'd been playing and she made octopuses. See those? So I don't know if that's what she intended them to be in the beginning or not. It just turned out that they ended up octopuses. So octopi. So she now has a little bag for her octopi. So yes, she's coming on. I said, well, the next time, I said, I'll show you another stitch, but she didn't go get it. So maybe the next time I see her, yeah. So we did say if she kind of ever comes here on her own, it'd be easier for me to show her than the distraction of the others. So we'll have to see if that happens. I don't know. So I'm a bit tired. So if I sigh, that is why I'm just a bit kind of, it's starting to catch up with me now. I was very full of beans earlier and I made my giveaway and stuff like that, but it's really kind of catching up with me now. Probably be okay once we've had dinner. So I said to Gary, I was finishing watching the football, and I said to him, put the kettle on while you're out there then. And he was going to make me this cup of tea. This is one of my favourite cups. Tea tastes really good out of that cup. It just does. Anyway, so I said, oh no, I can't really have that cup. I need the black one for my video, because otherwise, you know, they see the black when it deposits in the cup. And I got this one. So I made this, and then I came in and Gary looked around, didn't listen to what I said, and has brought me in this. So I got 2 hot cups of tea. In fact, that one should be hotter than the black one, only marginally. So anyway, that'll keep me awake while I put my videos on. Not really got much to show you. I've got lots to show you, don't get me wrong. I've got the crochet project for my next granny square project. I could be showing you that. I've done a whip video of it, but I can't show you that either because I need to do the video first. And I can't do the next part of the video until I finish it. So I've been busy beavering away. And I went out the yarn van earlier. And I should have brought some blue yarn in. Oh, I have to go back. Anyway, I had a bit of a nightmare out there today. I was packing a couple of orders, and one of them, I told you about the everything, didn't I, on eBay? So I went to print the label out. Now, I don't have to because I've got a QR code on my phone, but I just think, personally, I'd rather it have the label on, and I know it's got the label on. So I went out there, went to print it. It's going round and round. Nothing happening. And I thought, what's the matter with that? And then I looked to my little router out there, because I've got these discs and they're kind of boosters and they go in a line. And I noticed last night that the Yarnavan one was shining orange, so I knew it wasn't on. I thought, oh, maybe that's it. It's not picking up the internet. So I reset that. And then I tried to print it again. Around, round, round. So, oh, why now? What's the matter? I haven't used it for ages. Pulled the whole thing out. Decided to put it in a different place. I've got a coffee machine and a kettle out there that I never use. So I figured I'll put it on the worktop and I'll put something else in the cubby where the printer was. Got it all out. Made sure the leads was in and everything else. And set it to print again. Going round and round. And I realised it's because some time ago I put a new router in the house and changed all the passwords for everything except the printer. But it's one of those things that you do once in your life and you forget from that moment on. So I started trying to do it. I couldn't do it. But as luck would have it, I took my laptop out there because that's where the label was to print. So I Googled how to do it with that particular printer and managed to get, thank goodness, the password in. So now it is a print again. And one good thing about me pulling it out like that is I'm going to start printing off and keeping records a bit more than I've done in the past. So when I've done my tax for the last 2 years for Hobby Rocks, hobbyrocks.co.uk if you didn't know. So yeah, when I've done my tax, it's kind of been quite easy because basically it was very small business starting off. But as things get a little bit more involved, you get more suppliers, you get this, you get that, you're doing a bit of eBay or, you know, all over the place. It's really easy to forget money you've paid out. So I figured I'm going to start pulling all the invoices and everything else off. I did start that in the beginning, but it didn't last. But I'm going to get back to it and have a big envelope for little receipts like tea and stuff like that. So I'm going to start trying my best to do that as an ongoing thing. And I needed to bring the printer in here, but I can't really bring it in. I can, but when Gary made my cubby shelves, I fed the lead through, and now I can't get it back out. So it's, if I bring it in, I've got to bring the cupboard. It's like I'm not bringing the cupboard, or I've got to try and really get that lead through and bring it in. And then there's nowhere to put it in here. That's why I went out there. So I figured now it's on the worktop, it'd be easier to work with. So it can stay where it is, but it's much easier to do. So thank goodness got there in the end. But you know, they don't make these things particularly user-friendly. If it's wireless, it should just say password, put password in here. But no, you get all these weird options for different kinds of connecting. Don't know. What's the point of that? It's not exactly a business machine, it's just a printer, you know. So, happy Monday, guys. And, well, this is a cheer-upper for all of the things I mentioned when I first started about all my friends that are not too good at the minute. We have a Grogu Day, and how cute is that? Look. Aww. And we've got words. We have words. Let's make the baby do the magic hand thing. Come on, baby, do the magic hand thing, said Grief Karga. I think he probably did the magic hand thing, but not in favour of Grief Karga. Maybe not. Don't know. Why did I take them off? I've got to do the jokes. So I read both pages yesterday. Have I? Yes. I did turn the page. I spent 50% of my time making sure that everyone's gone to the bathroom and the other 50% finding out too late that they were lying. No, I did do that one. And did I do the worst parenting advice from strangers? Yes. Okay. Didn't turn the page. It's possible that the worst fights of my life will have happened trying to get someone 3 feet tall to brush their teeth. My husband wears boxers instead of briefs. That makes it easier to get pregnant, right? I guess it's probably even easier if he doesn't wear anything though. Face masks used to be a thing I did to relax. Now they're just a way for me to scare my kids. I think when the correct term is a face pack, because, you know, face masks has a different kind of way of thinking now, doesn't it? It's like this thing, you know, post-COVID thing. But face mask, you know, is the mud pack or something. You used to do those, the cucumber ones. Do you remember those? And then if you try not to move, and if you do, your whole face cracks. I never forget, I put one of those on, and I got the weirdest look from baby Paul ever. It was like, what's happened to mother? You know, the funniest one was when, you know, the ones that peel off. I put them on, and he came in, and you try not to laugh, and he looked at me, and he was giving me this look, and he went like, what's happened to your face? And I went, it's going to stay like this. So I used to like to tease my kids, you know. It's why they're so well adjusted now. And I say, no, it's not. Yeah, it is. It's how it's going to look from now on. He's like, no, it's not. And I went, it is. So I started trying like peeling it off, and his look of horror on his face as I like pulled my face off. I'm just a wicked mother. But, you know, he didn't like it. He didn't like that. It was like, oh, you know, it kind of goes shiny and tight. He wasn't impressed at all with that. He wasn't at all impressed with anything I did, to be honest with you. And that went into adolescence. But the worst one was when I had a perm. Now, I've mentioned this before, so if you've been with me for a long time, you might have heard this story. But if you're new, I really wanted a perm. My mum would never let me have one. So when I got older, and I was trying to grow my hair. Before straighteners, my hair used to have this awful habit of flicking up about here, getting to this long and then just doing this. And because it's quite wavy and it was unruly. So I figured I'd get it past the sticking out phase by having a nice shaggy perm, right? Now, bearing in mind my hair was red back then. And so I had this perm and I quite liked it. It was an acid perm, so it's supposed to be really good for your hair anyway, like the others. So I turned up to pick him up from school, and he kind of clocked me as he came out the door, and he just stood there and stared. And I was like, hello. And he went, what's that on your head? And I said, he went, what's that on your head? I went, it's my hair. And he's like, no, it's not. I went, yes, it is. He went, no, it's not. I went, yes, it is. He went, no, it's not. Take it off. And I went, I can't take it off. It's my hair. He went, you take it off. I can't. It's my hair. And looking at it sideways as we were walking down the road, just kind of looking at it. And you could tell he hated it, right? So we got in the car and he's giving me weird looks all the way home. And I told his dad. And a little bit later on, he said, you don't like mummy's hair like that, do you? And he went, oh, I don't mind it, but I just don't want my friends to see it. Don't want my friends to see it. It's like, thanks. Just don't want my friends to see it. Oh. Yeah. So, yeah, he always had this look of disappointment in me. Whether it was face mask, curly hair. And then as I got old, you know, as he got older, and he would sort of clock what I was wearing. And he would see what I had on my legs, mainly. And he'd just look at them and they'd look at me and go, like that. Because they'd usually be like, they're designer, right? I had this thing, like Label Lab. And they used to bring out some really snazzy leggings, you know, like snake skin print, but subtle, kind of black, but with blacky grey. So they weren't like in your face, or leopard print that was a little bit more subtle than usual leopard. To be all different shades of beige and grey. And I just sort of look at them and he'd look at me and he'd just think, you're old, don't do this. I mean, considering back then I wasn't, you know, old. But yeah. That was Paul. Bless. Anyway, cheers guys. I've got a lot of tea to get through. This one's cooled down enough to drink, which is nice. But yeah, I'm struggling a little bit with tiredness. And I know for a fact that I won't get to bed early. Because by the time evening comes around, I get past it. The only time that it's ever really got to me so bad that I've just gone to bed early or I've had a nap. That usually really messes me up though, so I try not to do it. But I just could not sleep. Just wide awake. But as I was watching Formula One, I found myself doing this. I know I eye rolled at one point. And I missed not quite a bit, but a bit. And, but I didn't miss anything vital. And in fact, the whole thing wasn't that great because it was rained on and it had too much of an effect on the results, really, the rain. And, well, there was a lot of like spinning outs and crashes and stuff like that. So, roses. Always reminds me of my youth, that. Making perfume in the garden, ripping all the heads off my mum's plants. And the neighbours, used to nick the neighbours' plants. She'd run out of roses because I'd nick all the heads off. So then next time I'd want to do it, I'd be like, oh, Mrs. Asser's got some roses. And I'd sneak in, pull them all off, sneak back to the garden. You know, I'd just be more observant in those days. You know, you walk around, you see nature. I used to love, this is one thing I used to love walking to school. And then on the picket fences outside all the houses, you'd get moss on the wood. And I used to get my fingernail on and make like writing in the moss. Not like squishy moss, you know, like hard, crusty moss. But yeah, I used to see so many more things, like different types of bugs and different birds and all kinds of wildlife. Now I just walk around with my eyes shut mostly. Don't see any of it. Occasionally, though, look outside and go, oh, there's a partridge or a pheasant or something, or a hedgehog. We've got a fox that comes here as well, but you don't really get to. I used to look at the sky. Now, I always think, you know, why don't we see? Why is it everybody sort of sees these UFOs and they're all over YouTube, Facebook, and God knows what? Why do we never see them? Oh, because don't look at the sky. That's why. You know, if they were there, I wouldn't know. To be honest with you, wouldn't see them. Wouldn't see them. Never see anything. Walk around with my eyes closed these days. But, you know, to be honest, I think all these UFO sightings that you see now, drones, you see like loads of drone light shows and all sorts of stuff. And what, you know, you can actually put a cover on a drone that looks like a spaceship, can't you? Fly it about. So I think they're all drones. Anyway, I'm going to get off and upload this video, and I haven't put my giveaway on yet, and it's late, so only because I was running late. But so I need to get that done. And I've got the rest of all my tea to drink. So, yeah, thanks for watching. Oh, no, I was going to mention something. What was I going to mention? Oh, heck. Oh, yeah. The Temu interactive whip along. There's going to be something that I was going to mention about. What was it? Was it that one? I'm sure it was that. I said to somebody, watch my chat tomorrow and we'll discuss it. Well, I can't remember what it was I was going to discuss. If you're... Oh, God, hang on. What was it? What did we talk about? Was it that? I think it was. I'm sure it was something to do... Might have been to do with the granny square thing. Granny square one. It might have been the granny square. That was it. Zib reversing. It was the granny square, a year of granny squares. So, you know, I said that I would do a standalone granny square and a project, so you could watch both bits or one bit, didn't matter. So each video will be a granny square and a project. Well, hopefully each one will be that if I've got a project for it. And then I will make a blanket with all of the squares that are appropriate to be made into blankets. And I said I'd roughly, I think maybe 6-inch squares, but it really kind of depends. I mean, the one that I did, the first one I did was probably about a 5-inch square or maybe smaller. So all I would do in that case is put a border on it until it was the right size. So I could maybe get the white again and do a white bit. Or, you know, if I'm going to edge them all in black, I could just do an edge in black and then join them all together. So my next one, you'll see what I'm going to do with that, but not all of them will make it into the blanket. It just depends if they're appropriate to do. But if the one I do is a coaster or something big, then it can be made, a square can be made of the right size if you just keep going or don't go as far. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, if I just limit the squares of the blanket to either be a 5-inch square or a 6-inch square, not really decided, but as there'll be quite a lot of them, maybe the smaller. What do you think? Because I won't have 52, because there will be some projects that won't be appropriate to have the square, but most of them will. So it'd be quite a lot of squares, unless I do just about a couple of blankets rather than one gigantic one, because, you know, gigantic one might be a step too far, but we could just maybe do a few where we join them together. That way you can get the colours right and separate them out so that those ones are more appropriate for that one. So yeah, some could be edged then in white and some could be edged in black. So let me know what you think, guys. What do you think? Give me some input into that, and we can, because it's just been an idea in the back of my head up until this point, that all of the squares can then go on and become something else. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys on the next one. Hopefully I'll have had some sleep by then. Bye for now.